Okay, I'm in a customer's house and we're looking at some direct electricity. What we have here, we have a spectrum analyzer, we have a Fluke 289, and what we see here, unfortunately, we have music, AM radio, gospel music. It's Sunday. It's Happy Father's Day here, and we got music in the wiring. And the first thing we're gonna do is to see if we get first we unplugging this. First of all, the GS Stetzer is 105 GS, and then we have the millivolts, 48 or 506 peak. And now we're going to take the DNA filter and see what the DNA does. So I tell people all the time, especially if you're building biology, you can't always go by what this says. These are totally different numbers. Now, there's no doubt with direct electricity here, but each one of these pick up different kilohertz, lower or higher, and they're not exactly the same. So I'm going to take this DNA filter, and we're going to look at the spectrum analyzer. We're not doing nothing with the 289 right now. We're going to plug this in and get rid of the music. Wow, you see what it did right here? It dropped to 50 kilohertz. I would say it's probably either smart meter or it could be some solar energy. So now it dropped everything down to 44 and 29. Now let's take the sine tamer, and I'm going to unplug the Fluke because we're not using it right now. And get the guy over there and put in the sine tamer and see what this does. And that lowered everything, pretty much cleaned up the whole entire grid. And now we're down to 40 and 12. So let's go ahead and unplug the DNA, see what it does with unplugging the DNA. Okay, and that went up to 20, just went up to 68. So it got a little bit dirtier down through here, and you see the DNA did a little bit better job down there. I'm going to unplug the sine tamer. You see it spiking there. Again, this frequency is hitting me 50,000 times a second. That's 80,000 times a second. Okay, so these frequencies are all in your electrical wiring, pulsating it in, and then we also have a high magnetic field because of all the looping, because of the electrical grid and the neutrals and grounds connected at the panel. And we also got the neutral and ground at the transformer, and then we have cable lines and other grounding electrodes causing loops in this area, and this whole house is swimming at 2.6 milligauss, in some areas over 3.5 milligauss. So the best thing to do for right now, if you're not going to do the full Monty here, which I'd say a meter disconnect combo, separate the grounds and neutrals, it really reduces that pressure off the house and reduces the electrical fields. What I would do, and you can take these with you, is get a DNA filter, and take the DNA filter, and I would take this with you when you're done, because again, you might be renting, and I plug these in, and even though it's not going to change this, but it will change what's in that magnetic field. And now you have a lot quieter environment, and then we have no direct electricity, and even on the Fluke 289, we'll test what's in the actual air, and we can do this. We can actually test what's flying in the air right now, and let's go to Hertz. Nope, wrong plug-in there. Let's put this back around and put this in like that, and then we're going to turn this menu, get a Hertz. So we have 60 Hertz flying around. Now, if we get by a computer, it's going to mess us up a lot of times. But in the air right now, we only have 60 Hertz. And it does help, too, that we have a filter plugged in. So that's it today. All right, thanks a lot.